tonight we have the running of the Coca-Cola 300. We are honoring all of the fallen men and women that have served this country. Tonight's going to be a great night. This is the first time that we're doing a cup race with a broadcast. I'll be giving you my point of view from my number 18 M&M's Camry, the red, white, and blue M&M's Camry. And drivers are strapping into their race cars right now, getting ready to rock and roll for qualifying. They're getting the last words in with crew chiefs and other drivers. We got a lot of great drivers in this crowd. We have, of course, Chad Frankenfield, number 78 car. He has been one of the most dominant drivers this season, and you cannot forget the guy that is driving the number 5 car. Switched over to the number 7, from the number 77 to the number 5. That was big breaking news coming out of last week, was that he would leave Furniture Row Racing, where he had a Daytona race win and a Martinsville race win, to join friends Eddie Carter and Ryan Thorvaldson at Hendrick Motorsports. As I speak of the 77, here it is. That was the car that he abandoned to go take over the number 5 car. We'll see how he does. So far, I think he'll be just fine. His raw talent really doesn't need a great ride to put his race car in a great position. So here we are at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Drivers are getting ready to qualify now. What you're probably going to see is drivers do 3/4 of a lap and jump down on pit road to put their proper adjustments on the race cars, trying to get the fastest possible lap time. The one thing you'll notice is that the bottom lane around this racetrack is extremely difficult to run. For whatever reason, when you have a setup in these race cars, it's very, very difficult to run that bottom lane without getting loose, without spinning, or what have you. So we'll see how drivers utilize their tools around here to be able to run a little bit better. Bottom lane's going to be difficult, but I do believe that these guys know exactly what they're doing. A lot of veterans in this particular race, so we'll see what just happens. I'm going to do a full lap around here, just to avoid any stack up. Oh, we got to stack up anyway. You see Chad Frankenfield driving the number 78 car right around me, and he looks like he's going to get out to a nice little run around here, so he doesn't get any stack up on pit road, as am I. We're going to have about 4 laps of setup qualifying laps, 4 to 5 laps. So, when you get onto pit road, you put your proper setup in the race car. We'll have about 4 laps to run some solid lap times. So we'll see what happens here, as I am jumping down the pit road, as is Chad Frankenfield. Now, the great thing is that this is a sprint race, so if you do speed on pit road, you do not get penalized for it. But in the race that we are going to be running in just a few short minutes, there will be black flags. So that's one thing to look out for, is black flags will be a thing for the cup race. Now, the cup race will be comprised of 4 stages. We will have the first, second, and third, I believe, at equal laps. And then, of course, the final stage is the run to the finish, which will be the longest of all 4 stages. This is a very crucial race because of the fact that there's a lot of stage points on the line. And a lot of drivers do take note of that. Stage points help a ton in the playoffs. So we'll see just how everybody fares with tonight's event. I think the drivers to watch out for, no question about it, are the number 5 of John O'Heisel and the number 78 of Chad Frankenfield. See John O'Heisel, the number 5 Liftmaster Chevrolet. You're not going to be able to miss that car. The silver and black car is quite intimidating when it's behind you, especially when it's running up right on your rear bumper asking to pass. So we'll see just how everything pans out here. Alright, as I suspect, it will have about 4 laps of lap times. See, 48 of Ryan Thorvaldson. He was the winner of last night's Xfinity Series race here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Had a very good handle on the setup and the race car, and was able to hold off the whole field to win his 2nd Xfinity Series race win of the season. Oh, wow, 24 car did not care there. Well, it looks like Eddie Carter, he's looking for his 2nd race win of the weekend. He won his first career PCRL race last night in the Truck Series event. Was able to get a couple lucky breaks and win his first career race in the number 27 Thor Sport Tundra. So he's hungry for another race win in the number 24 car. and this would certainly help his playoff bid, which I think it's going to be no big surprise that he's going to end up being in the playoff when all is said and done, as he tags the wall there in front of us next to his teammate Ryan Thorvaldsen coming out of turn number 4. That might hinder his lap a little bit. Now, my car isn't feeling the best. Still a little bit tight. I think it has a lot to do with the daytime conditions. I don't really want to get too low to the bottom, because after testing it out in the Trucks and Xfinity Series yesterday, getting close to the bottom with a very free race car will allow you to get right down to the bottom and unfortunately touch the apron and spin out. And at these mile-and-a-half racetracks, it's extremely easy to spin out, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens. Let's see who gets what. So Nick Dabbs is the quote-unquote race winner. That is how that's going to finish up. We're going to see where everybody stacks up in terms of qualifying times. Like I said, I think the two best drivers are going to be the 5 and the 78, and I would not be surprised to see those two guys on the front row. Now, this will transition from a daytime session to a nighttime race, which will be the Coca-Cola 300 that we're going to be running. Alrighty, let's see who takes the pole, and it is, oh wow, prove me wrong, how about that? Eddie Carter gets the pole for tonight's event at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. How about that? Was not expecting that. We got 4 viewers, how about that? Alrighty, as I suspect, I did not do too well on the number 18 Camry, but we have a lot to work on. We got 200 laps, 300 miles, all for the men and women that have sacrificed their lives to give us the freedoms that we enjoy every single day. And here we got Eddie Carter starting first, and second is Harrison Taylor in the number 4 Ford Fusion. Third is Chad Frankenfield, and fourth is John Hoheisel. And rounding out your top 5 will be David Brailsford in the number 3 Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. Pre-race ceremonies are over, drivers are on the racetrack, and they're going to be coming out of turn number 4. Fans are on their feet. Pace car peels off. Flagman with the green flag in hand. We're underway in Charlotte. Down to turn number 3, a very treacherous turn in any one of the PCRL tracks, and they're 4 wide. Oh no, crash! Oh my. And that was a very early caution. Very aggressive through turns 3 and 4. Now drivers are going to end up getting their setups in here. Definitely not the way to start out a 300-mile race, but rather get it out of the way now than wait for later on. And just about everybody's pitting. It doesn't look like Ryan Thorvaldsen in the number 48 car will be pitting. We'll have to see if he did, and he does not. All right. At a turn number 4, we're going to try this all over again. Green flag waves. Barreling down to turn number 1, the Hendrick Motorsports teammates side by side. David Brailsford in the 3 car trying to take over the 3rd position. Gonna try turn number 3 yet again. Oh, 42 puts the 18 in the wall. 3 car drops off the banking and the caution waves. Another crash. Oh, definitely not the way you wanted to have this happen. Alrighty, we're not going to pit here. The 18 car is not going to pit. Looks like several other drivers will also not pit. The leader, Eddie Carter, will be pitting, as will the number 48 car. David Brailsford pits, and Chad Frankenfield will not. He will assume the race lead. All right, your top 3, Chad Frankenfield, Harrison Talon, Keith Marek, and then followed by Eddie Carter and David Brailsford. Here they come back to the green flag. A very wild start to this 300-mile event, the longest race we will run all season long in terms of miles. Down the back straightaway. Many drivers are side by side, almost forcing it 3 wide. Oh, Eddie Carter wrecks. And this has not been a very good start to this race, unfortunately. It looks like everybody's just very on edge heading down to turns number 3 and 4. Definitely not the most enjoyable of starts to a race. Hopefully we can get this figured out. Definitely don't want to have a 200-lap wreck fest. Going to stay out here. David Brailsford is going to pit in his number 3 car. And it's going to be Chad Frankenfield and Harrison Talon yet again on the front row, with Keith Marek in 3rd. 4th, Ryan Thorvaldson, and 5th is Rashawn Lewis. From 6th on back, led by Jake Dempster, all pitted. Oh, but beating and banging, heading into turn number 1. Looks like these drivers are a little stretched out. We're going to see what these guys are going to do heading down to turns number 3 and 4. 18 gets a little loose, shuffles up the racetrack. But we get through turns 3 and 4 safely. Down to turn 1, the 4 and the 78, battling for the race lead, side by side, 4 car slips. Pushes up behind the 78, and the 78 powers away from the lead with Ryan Thorvaldson right behind the number 4 car of Harrison Talon. Side by side behind the 18 car is the 5 and the 24, new teammates. 24 gives the 18 a nudge. 24 car shakes and shimmies. And he's going to end up losing that spot to John O'Heisel, who now assumes the 6th position, hunting down the 18 of Keith Marek. Ryan Thorvaldson can't clear the 4, they touch! Side by side, exiting turn number 2. 4 car has the advantage. Oh, he gets loose. He might have tagged the wall on the exit. He slides back up to the front of the 48 car, and they are okay. 5 car going to go under the 18 off the exit of turn number 4 and clears the number 18. And John O'Heisel is officially in the top 5. Cue the Jaws music because he is coming. Jake Dempster currently, oh, I'm sorry, not Jake Dempster. It is Eddie Carter and the number 24 car finally clawing his way back up to the 6th position. 18 car doesn't seem to be that great in handling, so the 24 going to peak down low, maybe? He will peak down low, down into turns number 3 and 4. Oh, 18 hits the wall. Enter a little bit wide into turn number 3. But everything is all well and good. Chad Frankenfield cruising away from the number 4 car and gang. 48 car trying to go into the 4 car. He's got the inside lane. Ryan Thorvaldson surges ahead of the 4 of Harrison Talon. Can he clear him? Yes, he can. New driver in second place, the number 48 of Ryan Thorvaldsen. David Brelsford fighting with the number 4 as well. And John O'Heisel, he is right there with the top 5 drivers. He might be able to take over one of those 3 spots in the next couple of laps, if not this lap. 24 car of Eddie Carter, he is also trying to join the party, but it's a little bit of a steep drive for him. Rashawn Lewis and Jake Dempster are in 8th and 9th, respectively. Oh, 18 gets loose! Saves it! What a save by the 18 of Keith Marek. He holds on to it. And we are still going to be caution-free here for a little while. Hopefully we can go caution-free to the end of stage number 1. Down the back straightaway, Chad Frankenfield has a very commanding lead in the number 78 Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boats Toyota Camry. Chad Frankenfield showed up last week at the Richmond International Raceway for the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, and also did the Truck Series race at Gateway. And guess what that man did? He won every single race, won every single stage, every single race. One of the most impressive performances over the course of a 2-night stretch. And currently he leads the way here at Charlotte very, very early still. Out of this 200-lap race, I believe he only completed 17 laps. So there's still a very long way to go. But just so everybody knows, that 78 car is most certainly the class of the field. Rashawn Lewis is throwing out the hook and reeling in the 18 of Keith Marek. Those two are the only 2 JGR teammates in the field tonight. Oh, Eddie Carter gets loose off the exit of turn number 2. Saves it. We lose a little bit of time to the number 18 and the number 19. '18 car puts up the fastest lap of his race tonight. Now, so far during this season, John O'Heisel has been the most dominant driver all season long. He is the only driver with all 5 races with top 5 finishes, including 2 race victories. He currently stands atop the point standings, but in the playoff standings, it is Chad Frankenfield who currently leads that. And Rashawn Lewis in the number 19 Subway Toyota has caught the 18 of Keith Marek down low down the back straightaway. Rashawn Lewis backs out. Doesn't want any kind of issues heading to the most treacherous turn. 24 car gets loose again. Very impressive to save a race car on the apron, especially in turns number 3 and 4. And it looks like the battle up there. Oh, 21 car. Oh, 42, I'm sorry. Mark Navarro. Mark Navarro in the 42 car. He is off the racetrack. Looks like crisis is averted from those top 5 cars. There's a fantastic battle going on between them. Looks like Harrison Talon, John O'Heisel, and Ryan Thorvaldsen. Once again, down low is Rashawn Lewis. Not going to be able to complete it again. But he might be. Oh, 18 slips up a little bit. 19 goes down low. 19 of Rashawn Lewis pulling even with the number 18 down the back straightaway. Marek backs out. Gonna give that spot to Rashawn Lewis. Rashawn Lewis might be able to throw out a hook and catch Eddie Carter now. Seems a little bit quicker than his number 18 teammate. Jake Dempster currently not doing the best that he has. He was the race winner at the Road America race a few weeks ago. He was able to pass John O'Heisel late in the going and win his first career PCRL sanctioned race with the number 12 Fleetwood RV Mustang. Currently driving the number 21 Wood Brothers Ford. Isn't doing all that great tonight. 15 seconds behind the number 18 of Keith Marek, and totally is 23, 24 seconds behind the leader. So he is very, very close to going a lap down. It looks like between 5 and 6 seconds he is away from going 1 lap down, so he's in a very dangerous position. Currently, Mark Navarro is 4 laps down he might have retired from tonight's event. Oh, 18 hits the wall! Saves it, but loses a ton of time to Rashawn Lewis and Eddie Carter alike. But as I said, Rashawn Lewis has thrown out the hook, and he is catching that number 24 car, that bright orange and black 24 car. That Sun Energy One has sponsored that number 24 car for the last 2 seasons and will continue to do so when that particular race car switches over to the number 9 next season. Rashawn Lewis keeps on chipping away at that 24 car's lead. "21 laps to go in stage number 1. Everybody has gotten stretched out. It looks like after we had those mishaps at the beginning of tonight's event, it looks like everybody stretched out to a nice even keel and is able to be able to run their laps. And that's something that is so crucial in a race as long as this. This is an endurance race. And you have to be able to endure the 300 laps, 200 miles. I'm sorry, 300 miles, 200 laps. Kind of getting caught on my words here. Rashawn Lewis on the back bumper of Eddie Carter. Going to look to the bottom. Can he get there? He's there, but cannot draw a nose under him there. They're going to go after turns number 3 and 4, nose to tail. Lewis goes down low. Can he draw back up to that number 24 car? He's right there, 0.2 of a second behind. And we are correct, Mark Navarro did not retire from tonight's event. He is still 4 laps down, although. Rashawn Lewis trying to draw a bead on that number 24 car. And it looks like he's there. Side by side, heading in turn number 1. Oh, Lewis slides a caution. Caution waves. And it is Ryan Thorvaldsen, and it looks like his new teammate, John O'Heisel. Oh, my. Oh, I'm sorry. That is David Brailsford, the number 3 car. They must have had contact in turns numbers 1 and 2, bringing out our 4th caution of the night. So it looks like Chad Frankenfield has been the most dominant car. Harrison Taylor running in second in the number 4 car, but it looks like everything shakes and shimmies out after some pit stops. Hendrick Motorsports teammates on the front row. Actually, the first 3 spots are Hendrick Motorsports. Ryan Thorvaldsen, Eddie Carter, and John O'Heisel. Green flag waves. Ryan Thorvaldsen surges ahead of the number 24 car. Oh, 3 car gets a little loose. Everybody kind of gets squeezed up through the exit of turn number 2, but we are okay. But here it is, Calamity Corner, turns number 3 and 4. 5 car goes down. He touches the 4. Crash! Huge crash! Oh, no. Oh, big crash. Caution waves. Oh, my. Disregard the PCRL Cup at Daytona on the bottom. Haven't been able to update the message to spectators in quite a while. So it is the PCRL Cup Series at Charlotte. David Brailsford and Chad Frankenfield lead the way. Green flag waves. 10 laps to go in stage number 1. Look at Eddie Carter right to the back of the 18 car. 48 on the back of the 78 as well. Oh, this 18's getting aggressive. Oh, 3 car gets loose. 18 to the bottom. Oh, touching! Crash! Caution waves. David Brailsford just ahead of Keith Merrick. John O'Heisel will assume the 3rd position, and Jake Dempster will be in 4th. It looks like Chad Frankenfield will fall all the way to the 9th position. Rashawn Lewis, Jake Dempster, those are the two drivers I'm going to be pitting. Looks like this is valuable track position that we're talking about now, because this is coming to the end of the stage. David Brailsford has the best position, but the guy in third, that is the guy you have to watch out for. John O'Heisel, he has just been phenomenal this season, and I would not doubt seeing him take the race lead and possibly another stage win tonight. Ooh, beating and banging behind. 24 of Eddie Carter getting right to the back bumper of John O'Heisel. Nowhere to go for the 24. Down in turns number 3 and 4 we go. Chad Frankenfield back up into the top 5. 18 touches the wall outside of the top 5. He looks like he's going to be going now. Number 21 of Jake Dempster takes over that 5th position. 5 laps to go in this stage. Such a crucial stage point. It doesn't seem like it would be, but it's huge. The driver that wins this stage could very well help himself in the playoffs, and Chad Frankenfield says, I want that lead back. But those two drivers up there, the 5 and the 78, have been the two most dominant drivers all season long. Chad Frankenfield's at the bottom of the 3 car. He's going to take over the race lead. John O'Heisel going to get to the bottom of the 78. Almost. 21 slides up next to the 24 car, giving little to no room there. Down the back straightaway, Chad Frankenfield is ahead of the 5 for now. John O'Heisel, one of the most conservative drivers, but he is so darn dangerous. But it looks like Chad Frankenfield is going to surge ahead and pull away from the number 5 car. 3 laps to go left in this stage. John O'Heisel coming back, trying to just get something on the 78 car, but it's so hard. Oh, 18 gets loose on the exit of turn number 2, but he saves it. Here comes the 4 of Harrison Talon trying to take that 6th spot away from him. Gonna go out to the bottom lane in turns 3 and 4. He's got it. Tagging the wall is the 18. Here comes Rashawn Lewis, gonna try to take that spot away from his teammate. Chad Frankenfield ahead of John O'Heisel with 2 laps to go. Lewis slides up a little bit. 18 going to try to do the crossover move. As they round the final turn, they will see 1 lap to go in stage number 1. 18 is a little loose. 3 car David Brailsford, he's off the racetrack. He must have gotten loose through turns 3 and 4. He's going to drop from 4th all the way back to 8th and possibly even 9th. John O'Heisel on the back bumper of the 78 car. He is right there. Do not rule out the possibility of just dive bombing in turns number 3 and 4. This is a valuable stage point. He shoves it in there. He gets under him. Can he do it? No, he can't. Chad Frankenfield is going to win stage number 1. One of the most intense stages we've had all season long. Big crash to end the stage. An unbelievable first stage. It is Chad Frankenfield winning stage number 1, followed by John O'Heisel, Eddie Carter, Jake Dempster, and Harrison Talon. And rounding out the top 10 is Rashawn Lewis, Keith Merrick, David Brailsford, Ryan Thorwaldson, and Mark Navarro. Pace car peels off. We're coming to the restart zone. The number 78 of Chad Frankenfield with John O'Heisel next to him lead them back to the green. Oh, Carter moves up the 78 car. Oh, beating and banging between the top 3. Here comes Thorvaldson, Jake Dempster all side by side, beating and banging down to turns number 3 and 4. 78 car just ahead, caution is out. All but 4 drivers are going to pit. Chad Frankenfield, Keith Marek side by side, followed by Jake Dempster, and then Ryan Thorwaldsen. Those are the drivers that have not pit. A great restart by the 18, one of the very few drivers that can keep up with the 78 on these restarts, but Jake Dempster going to do what he can to try to stay with the 78. He's going to move him up a little bit. Down the back straightaway, Hendrick Motorsports teammates side by side for 4th and 5th. 18 surges ahead of the 21, just a tad. Oh, beating and banging on the walls is the 18. Jake Dempster slides up in front of the 18 car, and we got a crash behind us. The 18 just hit the 24 a little bit. Oh, he tried to do a crossover on the 21, and it looks like he tagged the 24 in the process. Oh, everybody moves up the track. 18 might expect retaliation from the number 4 car heading down to turns number 3 and 4. No retaliation this time. John O'Heisel hits the apron. Almost wrecks. 48 loses his 3rd position. He's going to fall way back out of the top 5. Chad Frankenfield, a commanding lead. Oh, 4 car tagged the 18. Everybody holds on. Here comes Rashawn Lewis. He's been the sleeper so far tonight. He's been one of the fastest cars all night long. Hasn't had the proper track position to show it. The 2 Fords of Jake Dempster and Harrison Taylor currently running 2nd and 3rd, followed by 2 more Toyotas, and then the Chevrolet of John O'Heisel. 40 laps to go in stage number 2. Seems that outside lane is the favored lane right here. Comes John O'Heisel on the outside of Rashawn Lewis. Oh, they almost hit. Everything is okay heading down to turns number 3 and 4. 4 car moves up the 21. Side by side exiting turn number 4. Advantage Dempster. But not for long. Looks like Harrison Taylor going to surge down to the bottom. They get close. 5 car right on the back bumper of the 18. Crossover from the 21 car. Goes down low into the 4. Side by side heading into turns number 3 and 4. What a fantastic battle. 5 car into the 18. 2 great battles for the top 5 spots. Rashawn Lewis trying to stick his nose into this battle for the top 5. Jake Dempster has the edge on his Ford teammate. Lewis almost takes out his teammate. Oh, Lewis must have got tagged by the 18. Oh, no. Rashawn Lewis had a fantastic run going and just a little too close for comfort there at the end. Oh, Jake Dempster gets loose. John O'Heisel went from 5th to 2nd. Down on the inside is Keith Marek of Harrison Taylor. That 21 car going to fall all the way back to the 5th position. And if something else is to happen, he might even lose that 5th spot to Ryan Thorwaldsen in the 48. Chad Frankenfield has said, see you later, bye. He is just checked out from the field. The 5 and the 4, those 2 drivers have been so great all season long. Fantastic battles they've produced this season, and they have no stoppage. Here we are. Caution is out. Chad Frankenfield, his setup is perfect. Says, I'm going to pit just as is. Everything is great. Looks like the majority of drivers up in the top 5 are going to keep pitting here. John O'Heisel, will he be pitting? He will not. It'll be John O'Heisel and Jake Dempster on the front row. Here they come out of turn number 4. Coming to the green flag yet again. Oh, 42 in the 3 behind us wrecking. Oh, 18 gets loose. Caution is out. Not what everybody wanted to see there. It looked like the 42 and the 3 just got together on the initial restart there. I would not expect to see many drivers pitting this go around. I think that David Brelsford wants to pit since, primarily due to the fact that he ended up getting wrecked at the end there. Oh, wow! It looks like Jake Dempster's going to pit. Green flag waves. The two best drivers this season are side by side, heading to turn number 1. Oh, Jake Dempster. Oh, we might have another crash behind us. Looks like everybody has saved it. John O'Heisel, Harrison Tamlin running first and second. Ryan Thorvaldson, who has been plagued by such frustration so far tonight, has put himself back up to third, side by Dempster and Frankenfield. Oh, they put him in the wall! 78 in the wall, 48 in the wall. Out of turn 2, everybody's okay. Harrison Tamlin surges to the lead. John O'Heisel doing whatever he can to keep up with. 21 car tags the wall above the exit of turn number 4. 18 to the bottom. 78 is right there with. '78 car gonna curve under the 18 off the exit of turn number 2, side by side down the back straightaway. Into turns 3 and 4. The 4 car leads currently over John O'Heisel. Chad Frankenfield wants to get back up to the lead. Here comes Jake Dempster. Gonna try to reassert himself. Caution is out. We're going to try out this setup that Hall of Famer Cole Bagunia has given us. We're so gracious as to have that with us. Everybody in the field pit. Here they come to the green flag. Tamlin and O'Heisel lead them back down. 24 laps to go in stage number 2. 18 trying to give the 5 a little kickstart. He is not going anywhere. He's dropping like a rock, holding up the outside lane. Oh boy. 18 thought about making it 3 wide, but thought better of it. 5 car hits the wall. Moves up the racetrack. Everybody's in the wall. Frankenfield, caution. Oh, Chad Frankenfield almost got the lead from Harrison Tamlin, but to no avail. Here we come. At a turn number 4, green flag yet again. Oh, Dempster hits the apron. He slides down. Side by side of the 2 Toyotas, but here comes Eddie Carter, looking for his first career PCRL Cup Series race win. Oh, 4 car spins in front of everybody. Huge crash. And the caution comes out again. Oh, my. The fans at the Charlotte Motor Speedway are just shaking their heads as to what's going on here. Out of turn 4, green flag waves yet again. Chad Frankenfield, Ryan Thorvaldson running 1-2, John O'Heisel running in 4th, and Keith Merrick in 3rd. Here comes Harrison tailing down low under the 5 car. He's right to the back bumper of the 18. Oh, beating it back into 78 and the 48. 48 washes up the track. 4 car of Harrison tailing went from 5th all the way to 2nd place. Here he comes. Caution yet again. Chad Frankenfield and Harrison Taylor look like they will be on the front row unless one of those two shall pit. It is Frankenfield and Talon, 1-2 on the front row. Green flag. '18 trying to get under the 78. He's pinching him down there. 78 going to surge to the front yet again. Here comes Eddie Carter in the 24 car. Getting a little too high there, almost tags the wall. If he already did, I'm not sure. 78 in the 4 on 1-2, followed by the 18, 5, and 24. 18 pushes way up the racetrack. Here comes Carter. He just moved his teammate to get to that 4th position. He is a man on a mission right now. Harrison Taylor not letting Chad Frankenfield get too far away from him here. Carter not going to be able to get a beat on the 18 car for 3rd. 10 to go in stage number 2. Carter going to the low lane. 5 car moves to 24. Just a little retaliation bump. Down the back straightaway, 18 car still asserts himself in the 3rd position. The 78 and the 4 are battling. 18 gets loose. Was able to save himself from a catastrophic failure. And he is going to fall all the way back to the 8th position. What a fantastic battle he was having. And this was something that we talked about during the qualifying session. You can't really run that bottom lane. That bottom lane, it's just there for reference, just to say, hey, this is the end of the racetrack. And the 18 tested it, as have many other drivers tonight. And definitely a calamity corner in turns number 3 and 4. He falls all the way back to the 7th position. A very frustrating end to this stage number 2. Mark Navarro, he is a driver that races every once in a while in the number 42 car. He had his best career finish at the Daytona International Speedway, racing with Stewart Haas Racing, got a 4th place finish. We interviewed him, and he was just so happy to be a part of PCRL. And he hasn't been the best on every other racetrack. Unfortunately, it seems the plate tracks are favored by him, particularly due to the fact that he can kind of keep up with the pack and know how to run it. You know, these racetracks are just a little more difficult for him. But he is learning. He's getting a little bit better every day. And we do hope to see him battling for a race win in one of our top 3 series. Now, as for David Brelsford in the number 3 car, he won earlier this season at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. driving the number 21 car in the Xfinity Series. He was able to get the lead late and win his first career PCRL race victory, and that was a very special race win for him, considering the fact that he has not had much luck in any one of our 3 leagues. Every time he has a fantastic vehicle, it just seems that something pops up and prevents him from winning any kind of race. So that was a very great win to witness. Ryan Thorvaldsen looks like he's well up in the top 5 positions. He won his first career Xfinity Series race at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and then following that with a Cup Series win the very next day. So that was awesome. We interviewed him then and said, what about the Truck Series? You think you could win in a Truck Series race? He said, man, I hope I could do it the very next week at Martinsville. And guess what he did? He took the number 32 Toyota Tundra to victory lane at the Martinsville Speedway. And then he followed up a couple weeks later with the race win at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Here we are in the number 5 car, getting his second career race win in the PCRL Xfinity Series. He's had a fantastic campaign in all 3 series, and he is 1,000% a favorite every single week we come out. Now, John O'Heisel, he has not raced in many of the lower division series. He is not eligible for a championship in the Trucks or Xfinity Series, but he is very much eligible for a Cup Series championship. Like I said, 5 top 5 through 5 races is so darn impressive. Accompanying that with 2 race wins and a couple poles, he also has 2 stage wins. Chad Frankenfield is the only driver that has more stage wins. He has 4 as of the most recent stage. He was able to win stage number 1 tonight and added his total to 4. But John O'Heisel did so great with Furniture Row Racing. Why he left, we're not too sure. He had a great job, a great race car to work with, and it just seems that he didn't like it over there as much as he would have wanted to. Went over to Hendrick Motorsports just to be with teammates. And speaking of teammates, Ryan Thorvaldsen on the back straightaway sideways. The 48 car has fallen all the way to the 7th position. Not really sure what happened, but he is stabilized now at about a 6-second deficit to the number 18 car of Keith Merrick. 1 lap to go in stage number 2. And it seems that turn number 2 has reached out and grabbed yet another driver. Oh, John O'Heisel too! Oh no! 2 Hendrick Motorsports drivers have fallen out of the top 5, putting Keith Merrick in the number 5 position. To finish out this stage, looks like Chad Frankenfield is going to take another stage win. 18 tags the wall up off the exit of turn number 4, and that'll end stage number 2. We're going to see where everybody shakes out, and it is Chad Frankenfield with his second stage win tonight over Harrison Talon, Eddie Carter, David Brailsford, and Keith Merrick. Ryan Thorvaldsen, John O'Heisel, and Mark Navarro round out the stages. The stage number 2. It looks like Jake Dempster has left tonight's event. Is everybody going to pit? That's the question. I do believe everybody's going to pit, and yes, they will. Everybody will pit. Chad Frankenfield, Harrison Talon, front row, and you've got a front row seat for all this. Coming to the green flag. We're underway at Charlotte again. 24 car is lagging. He's going to drop off the racetrack and fall to the back of the field for the sake of the rest of the drivers here. It looks like Frankenfield and Brailsford are side by side with Ryan Thorvaldsen wanting a piece of the action. Ooh, Thorvaldsen gets loose! Oh boy, everybody splits him, and we're okay. How about that? You cannot say that these drivers out here aren't professionals. Brailsford right on the back bumper of Frankenfield, but that's just like touching the beast. You can get so darn close, but you just can't take him down. Frankenfield's still ahead for now. That 78 car has been on point all year long, and tonight he shows no different. Harrison Talon yet again around that number 5 car, John O'Heisel. Oh, 18 tags the wall on the front straightaway. That 3 car, he is not letting that 78 car go though. The 78, he might have just gapped him right there on the exit of turn number 2. And 4 on the 5. Those two, they have been around each other all night long, whether it's battling for the lead or battling for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. They have been around each other all night, and they're side by side yet again. Talon hits the wall through the center of 3 and 4. 44 laps to go in stage number 3. Oh, 18 tags the wall. Got some fans of Eddie Carter here. We got Christian Sojberg. He is a driver in the PCRL Xfinity Series, and he is rooting on that number 24 car. I think many of us are, because we really want to see Eddie Carter get his first career race win. We'll have to see what pans out the rest of this race. 48 and the 18 battling for the top 5. Thorvaldsen did not have a good initial restart, but he has asserted himself back up. The 18 going to give the 48 the bottom lane and going to let him take over this 5th position. Still so much more racing left to go tonight. Oh, 48 gets loose again. Looks like John O'Heisel trying to take away the 2nd position from David Brailsford. So currently your top 5 is the 78 of Chad Frankenfield, the most dominant driver tonight. He started in 3rd position, and he has won so far both stages, and if he can hold on to this, he will have a 3rd stage win. Oh, Heisel! He's going to lose it. Oh, he hits the wall! No! And he goes from battling for 2nd to outside of the top 5. That is frustrating, unless he gets a caution. It looks like he might finish up in the 7th position. We'll see what everybody's on fuel. It looks like everybody actually cannot make it on fuel without pitting. All these cautions have made it very easy for these drivers to make it to the end without having to pit during green flag stops. And green flag stops are so crucial in any PCRL Cup Series race for one reason only: black flags. If you speed, it is such a big penalty to these drivers. And you notice it as soon as it happens. You get a 15-second penalty, and that is about a half a lap here. And you're already pitting 15 seconds for the regular maintenance. So you're taking a 30-second pit stop. That is 1 full lap while you're sitting in your pit box. And that does not account for the 10 to 12 seconds that you're driving down pit road and how much you have to slow down to make it onto pit road. In total, it could be upwards of a 45-second pit stop, and that could put you in such a deep hole. So everybody has to be careful on pit road. You have to be able to get off turn number 4 properly to get down pit road. You have to hit your shifts properly, because if you don't, you will spin coming into pit road. And that is almost the exact same thing as getting a pit road penalty. You penalize yourself by just entering a little too hard. Everybody is fanned out. It looks like Chad Frankenfield yet again has pulled away with the race lead. Not much of a surprise. Very reminiscent of Martin Truex Jr.'s NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race win at the Charlotte Motor Speedway last May. What a fantastic performance he put on. He's able to start up at the front of the field, able to dominate the whole race. And it looks like that 78 car has got a lot of luck at this Charlotte Motor Speedway. 48 car, of course, that is in real life driven by Jimmy Johnson, an 8-time winner at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ryan Thorvaldsen trying to put that to good use. And then you got up in front of him the number 4 car of Harrison Talon, who has run up right on the back of the number 3, and we'll get to the number 3 very soon. The 4 car, that is driven by Kevin Harvick normally. Kevin Harvick has 3 career race wins here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. He won his first career Charlotte Motor Speedway race in a heartbreaking finish for Junior Nation, as Dale Earnhardt Jr. ran out of fuel coming to the checkered flag, and Kevin Harvick won his first career Coca-Cola 600, and then followed that up 2 seasons later with winning the Coca-Cola 600 in the Gen 6 body. And then, of course, he went to Stewart-Haas Racing the very next season and won with the number 4 car at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. blew off the rear tire, and it made for one of the greatest Lionel Racing die-casts we've ever seen. Side by side, by the way, with the 4 and the 3 is Brailsford and Talon, and we're getting to the 3 right now. Austin Dillon ran that car earlier this season in May and won his first and so far only career race win in a fuel mileage battle, and Harrison Talon surges up to the 2nd position. David Brailsford falls back to the 3rd position, followed by Ryan Thorvaldsen, Keith Marek, Eddie Carter, and John Heisel. 34 laps to go in stage number 3. So a lot of history. The 18 car, I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of history of 2nd place at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Anything but a race win, it seems like, unfortunately. Just does not seem that the 18 has been very lucky at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We want to try to change that, but we can't be doing that. 24 of Eddie Carter, he was catching the 18 and he got loose too. And 24 has a lot of history as well. Jeff Gordon winning several races at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Most recently and finally in 2007 won the Bank of America 500 in one of the most intense battles for a playoff or for a championship between he and his predecessor and teammate Jimmy Johnson. Now we go back to the number 5 car of John Heisel. A lot of history here with the number 5 of Casey Kane. He is a 3 or 4-time winner of the Charlotte Motor Speedway, most recently in 2012, winning the Coca-Cola 600, winning Hendrick Motorsports' 201st ever race win. So definitely a lot of history to all these numbers. And of course, you got Martin Navarro in the 42 car. Kyle Larson has yet to make much history, but he is going to make plenty. And Fireblaze, Harrison Talon falls back to 4th. Oh! Ryan Thorvaldsen! Harrison Talon wreck! Caution! Big crash. And this is what we're talking about. These cautions that come out at perfect times from many of these drivers. It just seems that these cautions come out so perfectly to avoid green flag pit stops. Now, who will take over the race lead? It is still Chad Frankenfield. Here we come. Green flag is in the air. Oh, 18 hits the grass. Oh, no. That was not the restart he wanted. He was trying to get too much. And unfortunately, he falls back to the 7th position. It's a battle for the race lead. Harrison Talon under the 78. New leader, the 4. Ryan Thorvaldsen in the 48. He has lost a good amount of positions there, falling back to the 6th spot. 4 the 78 side by side. 24 and 3 are side by side, followed by 5, 48, and 18. Talon and Frankenfield still side by side. Frankenfield got pushed up into the wall. And now battling is Brailsford and Talon. They are fighting for the lead up there, and it is such an intense battle between them two. David Brailsford in that number 3 car. He was fighting for him, fighting with the number 4 for 2nd position not too long ago, and now he's in the lead. But here comes Frankenfield coming right back up to the lead, trying to at least. Oh, 18 gets loose, hits the wall. 78 looks like he got the lead from the 3. It is a 6-car battle, such a tight race for the race lead. And it looks like everybody is about 4/10 of a second within each other. That is incredible. Not anymore. It looks like John Heisel might have gotten loose above the exit of turn number 4 and has fallen way back from that top 5 battle. Now, next weekend is the Dover International Speedway. It'll be the running of the AAA 200. That is a favorite track for several different drivers, including a former PCRL champion. Trey Holmes said it was one of his favorite racetracks to run at. He was 2-time defending champion up until Chad Frankenfield won his first career title last season. He is now a Hall of Famer, Trey Holmes, and one of our all-time favorites. He was so much fun to watch, and we really wish he would come back to race with us for just a race. But looks like he's not going to be coming back anytime soon. He is enjoying his time off from PCRL, and he's running with a bunch of great friends of his in the Pro Edge Racing League currently. They're having a great old time over there, battling for a championship together. Other drivers that came from the Pro Edge Racing League include Harrison Talon, who is battling for the lead right now. He was one of the connoisseurs of Pro Edge, along with Hall of Famer Ethan Burrell, who used to drive the number 31 Caterpillar Chevrolet. Won several races and battled for a championship. Another Hall of Famer, we just seen him in the comments section not too long ago, and that was Cole Bagunia. He ran for a championship the first season that we ran PCRL, and it was an incredible thing to watch. It was he, Trey Holmes, Ethan Burrell, and there was one other driver, and I can't really put my finger on it, but they all battled for the championship. I believe it might have been David Tucker, and it was unbelievable to watch. Now, little known fact about that race, it was Ethan Reasoner who drove the number 24 car, just missed out on a final round bid, was able to win the pole and win the race to end the season in the 24. He was a 3-time winner during that season, and I got to tell you, I've never heard somebody so amped up over the radio to win a race as he was. He had this fantastic race victory at the Kansas Speedway not too long ago, or a couple of years ago, I should say, and he had stayed out late in the race and saved the perfect amount of fuel, was able to be in front of everybody, and ran just 9 perfect laps to end the race and win at the Kansas Speedway, which is also his home track. And he was so excited to win that race, and it was so special to see him get that race victory. And of course, he goes to Homestead a few weeks later and wins. He was also the race winner of our first ever PCRL race. And we got a big crash while the exit of turn number 4. Big crash. Now back to what we were saying. Ethan Reasoner drove the number 88 car to begin the season, and it was an amazing battle to watch. He and several others, champions in different leagues, go out and battle for the Daytona 500, the Daytona 250 for that matter. What a great race that was. Had some very reputable names winning races way back in the day for us. Names like Wyatt Knadel, he won a race. Ethan Burrell, Ethan Reasoner, David Tucker, he was one of the fiercest drivers we've ever had in this league. That was one guy you didn't want to piss off. And ironically enough, he was driving the number 4 car of Kevin Harvick. And, you know, we know how Kevin Harvick is. He's a hothead. And he just fit the bill perfectly. He was such a great heel, so to say. But most certainly one of the hardest drivers to go up against, hands down. He was so much fun to race, so much fun to talk to. So, you know, everybody from the Pro Edge Racing League, some great people. And we really wish they would come back for a couple races. But looks like they're perfectly content with their Pro Edge Racing League as it is. And it looks like Chad Frankenfield has the lead. Eddie Carter. Oh, boy. Hits the 18. 24 in the wall. He almost saved it. 18 tried to stay out of his way. Couldn't do it. Chad Frankenfield has the lead over Harrison Taylor, John Alheisel, David Brailsford, and Ryan Thorvaldson right at your top 5. And then it is Keith Merrick and Eddie Carter 6th and 7th with just 14 laps to go, coming to 13 laps to go in this stage. Harrison Taylor did not have a good 3 and 4. Going to lose several spots. Going to go from 2nd to 5th. John Alheisel, he's chasing his best friend, Chad Frankenfield, yet again. You can find those guys around each other all the time, it seems. John Alheisel, he almost beat Chad Frankenfield last week at the Richmond International Raceway. Just could not do it. Chad Frankenfield just had his car hooked up. Coming to 12 laps to go in stage number 3. If Chad Frankenfield wins this, this is 3 playoff points. That is massive going into the playoffs. But, of course, he is walking on thin ice. He misses 2 more races, and he is no longer in contention for the championship. Now, that only applies to regular season. We will have much fiercer stipulations coming in the playoff format in terms of missing races. Oh, David Brailsford gets loose in front of Thorvaldsen. They touch! Off the exit of turn number 2. Everybody's okay. Harrison Taylor and David Brailsford, those two, they've been around each other all night. 4th and 5th is what they're battling for. Ooh, Taylor and Brailsford beating and banging off the exit of turn number 4. And Brailsford able to get a little bit of clearing over him. 10 laps to go in the stage. The 2 Hendrick Motorsports drivers are battling for the 2nd and 3rd spots. Trying to do whatever they can to catch that 78, but that 78, he is long gone. Oh, 18 gets loose, so is the 3 car. 18, he wanted the 3, and he might be able to catch the 4. He's going to catch the 4. He might pass him, and he does. 4 makes the crossover. Beautiful looking crossover, able to pass the 18 back. And the 18 car, he was in 7th at one point, and now he is currently in the 5th position. He's done pretty well all night long. Very consistent is the 18. Been around the top 5 all night long. Just had some frustrating finishes in these stages. But with 8 laps to go, if a caution does not come out, it seems that he's got a nice top 5 spot. But do not count out David Brailsford catching that 18 car. He's been one of the fastest cars all night long, and I would not be surprised to see him come up to the 18 and pass him. Now, Harrison Taylor, he is one of the drivers that owns PCRL. He makes some of the key decisions in rules and how we carry about our league. Definitely a great asset to the whole league. And it's great to have him around, and it's great to have him run in just about every cup race that we do run. He runs just about every Xfinity Series race. Truck Series, he's not as consistent, but you know, when he can show up and show out, he does. And he's been a vital asset to PCRL as we know it, as he gets up a little bit too high up the exit of turn number 4. 6 laps to go. Oh no. The last lap that we just had was a 29.666. Does that mean this 18 car is going to be put in the wall at some point? We'll find out. 6 laps to go to the end of stage number 3, and we still have a long way to go to end this race. Taylor going to tag the wall a little bit. He seems to be okay, though. Here comes David Brailsford. As we said, he tracked down Keith Marin from 1.3 back to now 0.4 of a second. That 3 car is hooked up, being able to run the 18 car down. Either that or the 18 car is just not doing well. And it seems he's lost a lot more time to the number 4 car the past few laps. He was only about a half second back, and now he's almost 2 seconds behind the number 4 car. So this 3 car is going to get right to the back of the 18 with 4 laps to go. And depending upon the situation, we might see this 18 car just move over to 3. Here comes the 3 of David Brailsford as we expected. He might get to the bottom. Yes, he will. 18 going to back out. Going to let him take that spot. 3 car shuffles up. Here comes the 18 back under. How about that? Three to go. Brailsford going to go down to the bottom again. 18 and the 3 are side by side. I don't know if this 18 is going to let up this time. Stay high. 18 gets a great run with the 3. This 3 car, he's been fantastic all night, but the 18's there. 2 to go. Oh, 3-car shuffles up. 18 clears the 3. What a fantastic battle for the 5th position as they're coming on the white flag in stage number 3. David Brailsford, he is coming right back. He wants that 5th spot. He drives it in deep, 18 blocks. Here comes the 3, peeking down to the bottom. 18's got to make a perfect 3 and 4. 3 and 18, side by side. 18! Got him! What a battle! Chad Frankenfield gonna win the 3rd stage as the 18 spins out, followed by Ryan Thorvaldsen, John O'Heisel, Harrison Talon, Keith Marek, David Brailsford, and Eddie Carter. And we have 51 laps to go. We're coming down to the final stage. It's the final countdown. Everybody will pit. All right, for the 4 viewers that are watching, you're going to be in for a fantastic finish to tonight's running of the Coca-Cola 300. All right, that other viewer said, I don't want to be in here. Green flag. Frankenfield, Thorvaldsen lead the field to green, followed by Heisel, Talon, Marek, Brailsford, and Carter. Ooh, 48 and 78, beating and banging. 48 gonna lose all the way to the 7th position. Here comes Talon. He actually got in front of the 78. The 78 fighting back. 5-car gets loose. 3 wide on the exit of turn number 2. Brailsford still side by side and no longer. Talon has a lead over Frankenfield, but how long will that last? Eddie Carter waiting in the wings for anything to happen. 46 laps to go. Still 1 more pit stop is necessary to end this race. 18 hits the wall. Frankenfield forces the number 4 of Harrison Talon up. 24 right there with. 24, gonna go under. Brailsford hits the 18. Carter can't make it. He's gonna lose it. Frankenfield surges back up to the front of the field. Brailsford and Carter, 2 very good friends, but here on the racetrack, they are high volume enemies. Here comes Ryan Thorvaldsen trying to take the top 5 spot away from Keith Marek. Looks like he's going to end up doing it. Chad Frankenfield just walking away. Excuse me. Three, 24, and 48 all trying to battle here. The 18 is also up here. The 4, the 3, the 24, they're all beating and banging. Oh, we got a crash. And no caution. Just a stack-up effect coming off of turn number 4. The 4-car tagged the outside wall. The 3-car followed suit, and the 24 was just so close to the 3 that he touched the 3-car, and the 48 had nowhere to go, and the 18 just couldn't slow up enough. And Ryan Thorvaldsen does not seem too pleased right now. Looks like Harrison Talon is on pit road. Eddie Carter just sitting in the middle of the racetrack. David Brailsford and John O'Heisel seem to be right on top of each other, going through turns 1 and 2. 41 laps to go. Brailsford, O'Heisel. A heated battle. Like we said, it's fantastic racing for several different positions. We've seen the 4 and the 5 battle, the 3 and the 5 teammates battle. But the one thing that's been a constant, no question about it, is the 78 car being the class of the field. David Brailsford pries away that second position from John O'Heisel for the moment. Talon and Carter, they are looks to be very close to each other for the 5th and 6th positions. And Ryan Thorvaldsen way back in the 7th position. Now, as we said before, Brailsford, he is ahead of John O'Heisel, but not by much. 0.2 of a second. That can close up very quick now, 0.1 of a second. They are mighty close to each other. So the fuel situation, we just seen 37 laps to go. And 17 laps of fuel is what it looks like this 18 car has. And the 18 and several others pit at the same time. We're not sure about everybody else of what they can make, but we at least know these top 4 drivers cannot make it to the end. John O'Heisel takes the second position away from David Brailsford, and he has that number 5 car trying to chase down Chad Frankenfield. Might be a little bit difficult. Chad Frankenfield, he is just so darn fast right here. That number 78 Toyota Camry all season long has been the best car. No question about it. Now O'Heisel, he hasn't really shaken off David Brailsford all that much, but it looks like David Brailsford might have made a little bit of a mistake. He has lost a couple tenths of a second. He was 1/10 of a second back. Now he's 5, possibly even 6. Now it's dropped him to 4. Ooh, 18 car hits the wall. He exits turn number 4. "34 laps to go." The fans in the stands, they're biting their fingernails right now because anything is possible. And if this race is to go green all the way, strategy becomes a huge play. Who pits first? Who pits when? Who takes what? Who doesn't take what? This is going to be a 195-mile-an-hour game of chess. Eddie Carter has slipped past Harrison Talon for the top 5 position currently. John O'Heisel has gapped the number 3 of David Brailsford just a little bit to now 0.6 of a second gap. Make that 5. And while we have this time to ourselves, we'd like to thank all the men and women that have served here on our home soil and all over the world to keep this great country that we have safe and sound and free. Now, of course, this red, white, and blue number 18 car is the least that I could do to show my appreciation for the men and women all over the globe that have lost their lives, or they are currently serving or on a leave of absence from the battlefield. And speaking of which, 18 gets loose there, holds onto it. John O'Heisel pits. He's got a plan. He's the first guy to go in. And to Harris Talon, he also pit as well in the 4 car. Several drivers have pit now. Looks like 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, they have all pit. That includes the 5, the 24, the 4, and the 48. The 3 drivers that have not pit are the 78, the 3, and the 18. John O'Heisel lost the lap to Chad Frankenfield. I believe many of these drivers have lost the lap to him. And David Brailsford peels onto pit road. Now, from what we can tell, look like David Brailsford took either only 2 tires or fuel only, because he was about a half second behind John O'Heisel, and now he is 11 seconds ahead. That is huge. Now, it is all up to what Chad Frankenfield and Keith Marek do. That will determine who comes out on top here. 26 laps to go. Fuel is running light. 7 more laps is all that Keith Marek has. And I will suspect that Chad Frankenfield has the same amount. That might be Chad Frankenfield on pit road. It is not. Oh no, David Brailsford. Oh no, what happened? He's on pit road. He must have had something go wrong. Oh my, this is going to hurt any chance that he might have had at winning this race. This has, not might have, it has hurt any chance. Now he needs a caution in order to just be back on the lead lap. 18 hits the wall, pigs into turn number 4. Now what happens here? Who does what? Who makes this move? The 78 or the 18? '18 gonna go to pit road. Not the prettiest stop into pit road, unfortunately, for the 18 car, but he looks like he might just be taking fuel only. Chad Frankenfield has pit from the lead. The 18 wanted to try something. He is currently in the 3rd position. And I think that John O'Heisel has taken the lead from Chad Frankenfield. He has. Chad Frankenfield currently 12.5 seconds behind John O'Heisel. That is a massive gap that is to be closed by Chad Frankenfield, if he can even close it.
That's
20 laps to go. John O'Heisel has a 12-second lead over Chad Frankenfield. Can that be erased? Can Chad Frankenfield actually do this? That is the big question here. And 12 seconds here is just huge. It is such a massive gap. Now, battle for the 3rd position. It looks like Eddie Carter has reeled in the number 18 car, but he tags the wall by the exit of turn number 4. Going to lose a good bit of time to that 18. Going to have to reel him back in. Chopped it down to 11.5. 18 laps to go. Now 11 seconds. He's chopped a full second off of John O'Heisel's lead. The time is running short. Oh, 18 hits the wall. Hard contact.
outside.
He's going to lose a ton of time as well. Here comes Eddie Carter on the outside of him. 16 laps to go.
Hold steady wheel.
That was not a good set of turns for that 18 car. Just that side-by-side racing really hurt him. Here comes Brailsford. Runs to the back of the 18. And the 3's around. Doesn't look like the 18 car seen the 3 coming anywhere. And that was such a killer for the both of them. Unfortunately, the 18 just kind of heard what the interval was back to 5th position. Didn't really pay much attention to where the lap driver, David Brailsford, was, unfortunately. 14 laps to go. Ryan Thorvaldsen chipping in on Keith Marrick's deficit. 6 seconds. I think he could do it within 14 laps. He's been able to really reel him in now. Now it's only a 10-second gap. I'm sorry, 9-second gap. Oh, Ryan Thorvaldsen, he hit the wall. He wrecked. Oh, my. Ryan Thorvaldsen had a great run going. He might have been able to get up to the 4th position, and he has washed it all away. Looks like an unfortunate end for Ryan Thorvaldsen in the 40-18. I think that might be it for him tonight. Harrison Taylor now has to try to throw out a line to try to catch Keith Merrick. Now let's see what the interval is now. 8 seconds. Does he have enough time? Does Chad Frankenfield have enough time to catch John O'Heisel? That is the big question. 11 laps to go. That 18 car might blow a right front tire. Oh, that would be an absolute killer for him. 10 laps to go. Can he make it? That 18 car just getting slower and slower. 9 to go. Here comes Ryan Thorvaldsen. Oh, he tags the 18! Oh no! The 18 car's top 5 chances have gone down the tubes, unfortunately for him. All right, we're coming down to 6 laps to go or 5 laps to go. We're going to find out as we hit the line here. It might be 6 laps to go. Excuse me. Five laps to go. Top 3 are currently John O'Heisel, Chad Frankenfield, and Eddie Carter, followed by Harrison Talon and David Brailsford. 4 more laps. Can John O'Heisel do it? Now 3 to go. Two more laps remain around here. Looks like Harrison Taylor's number 4 car is just limping around the Charlotte Motor Speedway currently. Two to go. coming to the white flag. One lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Thank you so much, Trainomial. John O'Heisel. We didn't know if this switch to from Furniture Road to Hendrick Motorsports was going to work, but apparently it did. Checkered flag is out. John O'Heisel is going to win the Coca-Cola 300. Oh my God, I lied! Oh no! Chad Frankenfield won! Wow! He did not win by much. He won by 4/100ths of a second. Wow! I did not think he'd be able to get it done, but he did! Chad Frankenfield sweeps all 4 stages! Goodness! What an impressive finish. Chad Frankenfield took a lot. Eddie Carter finishes third, and it's David Brailsford, Harrison Taylor, Keith Merrick, Ryan Thorvaldson, Mark Navarro, Jake Dempster, Rashawn Lewis, and Tim Smith. An incredible race tonight. Definitely something that we would like to do again. Hopefully, when we go to the Monster Mile next week, we'll have this same situation going on. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week for the AAA 400. Sorry, AAA 200.